Awesome. We are live. Welcome to the Valuable Mind Podcast. This is Brandon Pony. Excited to have our guest on this morning, Steve Faulkner. And he is the CEO of Spencer James Group. And excited to have you on, Steve.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
Steve's got a pretty extensive background. He's actually been an active business owner for over 2 decades. He's been in the corporate world. He's been in sales. I just want to just give a light preface story to tell. He's actually two different continents, two different countries, two different cultures. Similar. He grew up about 2 hours or lived about 2 hours from where I'm at, actually in California, which is funny. But very cool to hear your story and the success you've had in your business that's lasted through 2008. It's lasted through COVID, and actually, there's other fires I think in there that you've survived. It's pretty impressive.
Still here, still alive and kicking.
Very cool, very blessed. So tell us more, catch us up more on you.
Oh boy, how far back do you want to go? So I've been recruiting since January '03. I recruit in the employee benefits niche. In insurance brokers and consultants who are helping companies with their employee benefits packages. I sometimes help them find sales and service people, and then the insurance companies that they might sell to a company of 100 to 5,000 employees. I help those insurance companies find sales and service people. So it's kind of a niche little area, but it's been good to me. I feel like I've been lucky in that it is more recession proof perhaps than some other places like, IT kind of tends to go up and down a little bit with the economy. I feel
Mhm.
like if you have a company, most likely you are offering health insurance to your employees, and that is the driver of the space.
So one of the questions I wanted to ask is, the company, the business has been around over 20 years, but before that you were, actively providing and helping or, selling insurance. What was the inspiration or what was the reason for not only shifting industries, but actually starting your own business?
Uh, Good question. Good questions. Um, it was just the circumstances. I had a lot of friends that got into the insurance business, and I never quite got into the same spot as them. The camaraderie of a group sales office and from senior reps down to junior reps and the buzz and all that. I had different experiences. One, it was just me and one other guy and one account manager, and he's a great guy that I'm still friends with to this day, but it was just a different experience. And it was in a very commoditized world, it was a very lesser known brand. So it was a very difficult uphill battle. I barely sold anything. Then I went to another company that had the brand, but again, in a price sensitive world. Um, I joined them at a time where they were going through a bad part in the cycle, and it was I actually have got a little bit of the group experience. My peers were great. My boss was the worst boss of my career, and it was excruciating. And I don't care if he hears this, but who knows where he is now.
You know who
Uh,
you are.
you know who you are. So I got pushed in the industry, a lot of times the insurance sales reps that are calling on brokers do make the move to the broker side. But it's ultimately even more of a commission only type job where you can build a book of business. I didn't really feel confident enough to make that move. I still felt like I was too young and didn't have contacts that were CFOs and owners and decision makers. But because I was in such a bad situation, I was cornered and made the leap sooner than I might normally have made it. Joined a good company, had a great boss, and you know who you are, who sort of built me up and taught me that side of the business. But that was all still early enough to know, man, I'm now finally making some progress on this ladder, but I'm up against the wrong building. Like, I just don't really enjoy this work. And my wife had an opportunity at the time with the division of Yahoo. Um, that was actually the bit that made Mark Cuban all his money. He'd made a little bit of money before, but then made his billions when he sold broadcast.com to
Mhm.
Yahoo. She was part of broadcast, and there was an opening in London, and she asked her boss about it, and he's like, "What, you want that job? We'll pay for the move, stay as long as you want, um, come back whenever you want." um, and I had grown up in England, so I had the right to work, citizenship, and all that. So I was just like, you know what? Before I really settle in and live a life of quiet desperation, because the money where I am is starting to get good and it's only going to get better. I just don't like this enough. Let's make a clean break. Move to London. I got into recruiting there. Um, and then we had our first child. And living in London is like living in Manhattan. You know, unless you're an investment banker making millions, it's tough living in a very expensive city. When we had our first child, we decided to come back to the US. And then my wife's family had left the Bay Area and moved to Colorado. I knew that I liked recruiting, and I there's just the reason why I started my own company. There's just no real brands in recruiting. I also hadn't done that well in the recruiting job in London. And so they weren't going to set me up. But what does setting me up mean? You're going to pay for my phone and pay for my computer. And then when I earn a whatever, a $25,000 fee, I'm going to give you half because you gave me the phone and the computer. Like, thank you. I'll get my own phone and computer. When I get my own searches and I find my own candidates and I put the whole deal together, how about I keep 100% of the money? So it's just an industry where I don't know why anyone works for someone else, frankly. I mean, it helped at the beginning. My
Mhm.
boss in recruiting, it's not like we're doing rocket science or brain surgery, but you know, there's some art to it and some science to it, I guess, and it is sales in a way. And I had a very good boss at the company in England, and because I knew I was leaving, I paid even more attention to everything he said and learned, soaked as much knowledge as I could from him. But then beyond that, it's like, yeah, I'm just going to do this myself. And fortunately, the company I worked for, some companies really split it up. There are the people who get the searches to work on, and then there are the sourcers and the recruiters who go and find the candidates, and they kind of split the roles up. At the
Mhm.
company I worked at, you had to do everything. So I was ready to do the whole process. So yeah, I just decided when we moved. So we moved to Colorado to be close to my wife's family, and the prices of, you know, housing was half as much as California. That's convenient when starting a business. Um, and I just combined the two backgrounds, the 8 years in insurance combined with the 2 years in recruiting. I just had my natural market in insurance, hung out the shingle in January '03. And lo and behold, I'm still here in, you know, 2025.
It worked.
It works. I like it.
Working. It's amazing. I can totally agree and totally relate to having your ladder up against the wrong wall. Seen that.
Yeah, you know how you have, I don't know if you have this nightmare that you're showing up to class and it's the final and you realize you haven't been to class all semester. I also get the nightmare that I'm back at the insurance brokerage that I used to work at. And I'm like, wait, why am I here? I like recruiting. Why did I come back to being an employee benefits producer? No offense to the employee benefits producers. I finally feel like there is something now to say and do in that space. There is a new movement towards really tackling claims costs and the costs of health plans with some new concepts. So I feel like there's something a little bit newer to say, and sometimes I get passionate about that, and I almost feel like I could now go back to doing that.
Yeah.
But you know, at the time and for the last 20 years, this has fit my personality much better. Fewer
There's
Excel
been enough time.
spreadsheets. Yeah, less to have to keep track of and know. I mean, that employee benefits um, producers, man, there's a lot on their plate. They have to know a lot about a lot, all the different
Yeah.
health plans. We can get into that if you want, but yeah, this
You
job's
car-
more
you
fun.
yeah, you carved it out and you got to write the script and make the rules. It's awesome. So Spencer James Group, tell us more what they're doing, what they do. Give us a more in-depth.
We are recruiters, headhunters, whatever you want to call it, and I've been talking about employee benefits as if the audience really knows, but yeah, the niche is employee benefits brokers who help companies with their benefits plans, so their health insurance, dental insurance, group life, group disability, compliance, et cetera, et cetera. They have to find the clients, which could be companies of, two to infinity employees. Most often now it's more like 100 employees to 5,000 would be the sweet spot. They have to find them and help them with their benefits and keep them happy. And in the process of doing that, they are shopping among different health insurance companies and group life and disability insurance companies, dental insurance companies, and so on. Those insurance companies also all have sales reps that are trying to be the product that that broker is providing to their client. So they all have salespeople and service people. So I help both the employee benefits broker and the insurance companies find sales and service people, individual contributors, and managers and regional vice presidents. The more senior it goes, the less often they come up, but we
Mhm.
help with all of that.
Solid, solid. I know we say it quickly, like, it's been since '03, it's been 2 decades, and it's a quick thing to say, but there's a quite a bit of pretty monumental events that have taken place. When it comes to trends, what were some of the experiences, I think it'd be relevant to really share what you would like, but what are some experiences or things that you've seen maybe as of recently?
Uh, Broadly, well, obviously, COVID changed a lot of things. Um, uh, the work from home thing has been probably not even really a trend, just a giant change.
Mm,
And it's like you can't win. If you've got a client that has only totally worked from home, then candidates tell you, well, I want some camaraderie. I want to have a place to go. But more often um, it's very challenging when a client still we want someone, we want to have a strong culture and we feel we can get the best culture by having people come into the office. We want them to come in every day. That's very difficult. Not all employees want to do that anymore. The ideal is probably, come into the office twice a week and work from home three.
yeah,
And some people are, some companies are good with that and some are not. And it's easier to recruit for the ones who are good with that.
right.
Uh, Other trends that I see are probably just more specific to my industry and what they're selling. I can share one example, but I don't know who this will be helpful to, but the people who are selling group life and disability and dental insurance, the companies are companies like MetLife, Hartford, Prudential, Standard. Um, they're good companies providing valuable benefits, but the benefits are treated very much like a commodity. Like if someone dies, the insurance company pays. If someone gets disabled and it's a legitimate claim, they're going to get disability insurance. So whether it's who do we trust more, Prudential or Hartford, they're both strong brands, and we'd like to think that they're all going to do the right thing when a claim is submitted. So how else do we compare? It is very price sensitive. It's treated like a commodity. But the trend has changed lately over the last several years, where it's a lot about technology integration and how well the billing fits in with the payroll company, or enterprise-wide software like Workday that the company might be using. Also, to get very nichey, absence management and family medical leave has become more prominent. And so having those capabilities has become uh, additional factors beyond just rate and price.
Mm.
So that's that. I don't know how that helps a wider audience. Um, uh, Trends. I don't know. I'm coming off a week where um, I don't know. Most people are pretty good, but I hate being ghosted so much that even if I only get ghosted 1 out of 20 times, I feel like it's every day or it just drives me crazy. And I don't know if that's really happening more than it used to. I think there's as much reading about the new generation and how they handle things that probably seeps into my subconscious. I've been ghosted recently by someone who doesn't even fit any of the new generations. He's at least Generation X, a higher level person who you think would have more courage to have difficult conversations. He didn't have the guts to tell me he didn't want to take the job. He's just ghosted me.
Mm.
Um, uh, but I do think that there is a bit more of an undertone that is okay to do than it used to be.
Hmm.
But I'm probably just kind of clutching at straws to answer your question on that.
Happens to the best of us. Happens to the best of us for sure. No, sheesh, in my own experience, I could speak to that. Absolutely. I had one thought though, as you were talking about that. Yeah, because the Big Beautiful Bill came out, it changed like a lot of different industries. It helped industries and then it like hurt other industries. So, there's people are celebrating, people are crying, so somebody's feelings are hurt somewhere. And so I think it's widespread affecting multiple industries and multiple people and lifestyles and cultures. So gosh, I've seen that too as well.
Yeah, I don't know what that's done in my industry. I just feel like there has been a trend for years of winner take all. I mean, we
Hmm.
don't have as big a middle class as we used to, and um, I don't know how that's quite trickled down to me yet in my industry. Um,
Well, I had one question well, in your article, speaking about like hidden talent, how the best managers find and keep talented employees. What were some of the strategies you've seen like identifying hidden talent? I mean, being in the space for so many years.
I don't know in my space, I don't know how hidden it really is.
Mm,
I suppose you're giving me a good segue into what we do, which is, I mean, I think good recruiters, which I would like to include myself, we're not just posting jobs and seeing what comes in. The benefit of using an outside recruiter is really that they are getting to the quote unquote hidden pool of talent. I don't know how hidden anyone is today. Everyone's on LinkedIn.
right.
When you work with a recruiter who's been in a niche for a long time, they've been in touch with a lot of candidates over a long period of time. You sort of know who the good ones are. Certainly in sales, you can ask about sales results, how they rank relative to their peers. Um, but we will call people at their desk or in their car, wherever they are, to find out how things are going. How's their territory? How's the direction of the company? How do they get along with their boss? And dig below the surface to find out what might be ailing them, annoying them, a career wound, as one industry trainer used to call it, and then picking at it. God, these are horrible metaphors, but just trying to get below the surface to find out what might be bothering them, and then where it's relevant and appropriate is your client, you know, the solution to what ails them. And when it is, you can point out where and then make an introduction to your client. So that's a lot more work than just posting an ad and seeing what comes back. I mean, it takes a while to get a hold of people. Everyone is busy.
Yes.
So you're calling, you're texting, you're emailing, you're sending notes on LinkedIn. You're probably doing another round of that with the people that you really want to speak with. Then you're getting on the phone, which could be, sometimes 10 minutes, but a lot of times 30 minutes to find out, no, overall, I am pretty good where I am, or your opportunity isn't really that interesting to me. So there's a lot of those calls that don't go anywhere at this particular time. Um, but that's what you have to do to unearth, um, you know, the hidden gems that do then end up revealing that there's something annoying them and that, yeah, sure enough, you know what, I'm interested to hear more about what your client has. And yes, please set me up to speak with them.
Wow. That speaks to your credit too, because it's definitely a dying, my perspective, it's definitely been like a dying art form of calling, cold calling, or just, getting in touch with someone. Most are scared to do it, most are timid to do it.
I
But
hope so, because I don't mind it.
yeah,
But I mean, there are still some cold calls that where you haven't spoken with someone before, but then you hope your LinkedIn presence makes your name familiar. But then
right.
there's some people I'm calling, this is like the 10th time calling them over 20 years. We go back to 2004 and, how you doing this time around? And hey, now it's like, how many more years do you have before you're thinking about retiring? Um, and so sometimes it's like catching up with old friends.
Right. And that's the difference with businesses, clients, customers, is it's a relationship. Relationships are those are the ones that last through careers, through multiple careers and companies and industries. And it's like, yeah, like catching up with old friends, because what we do isn't who we are.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Appreciate you sharing that. One of the last questions, that's super relatable to a lot of the audience as business owners, either in their beginning of their career or, right in the middle of it. What are some of the challenges that you guys have seen or maybe you're kind of focused on right now?
Uh, Challenges me personally in the business.
Yeah. Yeah, business wise. Hmm.
Well, there's always a constant push and pull between, like, how do you really grow? I do like what I do, but the challenge of what I do is that there's continuing relationships, but there isn't, um, uh, like the insurance brokers that we recruit, they can build a book of business and they have recurring commissions. We don't
Hmm.
have any recurring revenue. So when you get busy, you want more employees to help on the searches. But then when you fill those searches, or you can't find someone for those searches, or the client finds someone themselves, or whatever happens, it just ebbs and flows. It's the constant chase of the constant balance between having too much work and needing to ramp up, and then there not being enough work to feed the people that you ramped up with. So that's the biggest challenge. So I do admire the recruiters who've crossed certain thresholds. The really good ones that have 15 plus recruiters and have built a business and they can be true owners and just doing very strategic work. They're not involved in day-to-day calling of candidates or generating new business. They've got people who are handling all that, and they're really a true, visionary or just making other strategic decisions for the company. Very difficult to get there, in my opinion. So I admire those people.
Agreed. Agreed. Oh gosh, I think one of the best things about the business is the people, and the worst thing about the business is the people.
Yes. But I do think it's more, I don't know, I think it makes it more fun. Um, so yeah, that's the biggest challenge, which is why I have been doing more marketing, doing things like this. Worked with someone else to do a video explaining what we do,
Mm,
working with another marketing team that is consistently helping me put up content, um, because I do think it would be, I don't know, sort of my legacy. Hire more people. I mean, I'm very grateful to the boss that taught me recruiting or gave me the start,
right.
because I've been able to put, a few kids through college and have a nice lifestyle. And I would like to be able to give other people that opportunity. So for me, recruiting, yeah, the benefit at the end is hopefully I can sit on a beach drinking cocktails and I've got recurring revenue coming in. But not really. Along the way, it would be fun to help people develop their skills in this and provide themselves a good living. A bit of a legacy. But it
Exactly.
is it is hard to every new person you hire comes directly out of your pocket, and if they don't make it soon enough, um, it can be a drag. And then I've got to make sure that I've got enough work coming in that keeps everyone fed.
Right. Exactly. Biggest cost I saw a statistic, and I think it's true. In most businesses, the biggest cost is hiring, the most expensive thing
Yes,
by
followed
far.
by benefits.
Yeah, yeah, right. It's right there. It's connected.
Full circle.
Exactly. Steve, really appreciate the time that you've shared with us. Last question I wanted to ask is how do we get in touch with you? How do we get in touch with your business?
Well, I'm on LinkedIn, Steve Faulkner. You can email me through there. My email address is steve@spencerjamesgroup.com. Cell phone is 303-995-3444. Those are the best places to reach me. Probably email's best, steve@spencerjamesgroup.com.
Amazing. Amazing. Perfect. We're gonna have it linked for sure. Thanks again. Steve Faulkner is the CEO of Spencer James Group for over 2 decades. Thanks again for sharing your wisdom and your experience. We could definitely go even a lot deeper. We'll probably have to do a part two. But this has been the Valuable Mind podcast. Thanks for being on, Steve.
Thank you very much for having me.